So ऐसा है कि the market is completely flooded with overpriced SUVs. You can go yourself and buy yourself a Jeep Compass or a Jeep Meridian. If you go to the Skodas and the Volkswagen, you have their the Skoda Kodiaq, you have the Skoda new, probably the Tayron will come very soon. The Mahindras have the all legendary and intimidating Thar 4x4, the higher version of it. You have the XUV and the Scorpios. And then you have the Fortuners and the Toyota Hiluxes of the world. The list is endless in a way. But today in the next 7 to 10 minutes or so, I will tell you why the Maruti Suzuki Jimny 5-door in India, the 4x4, makes complete sense in this flooded market, and why it's a practical, efficient and a capable alternative for all of these expensive SUVs. Let's go. I owned cars like Maruti Swift, Hyundai Accent. My first car was a Maruti S-Team, a really beat Maruti S-Team. And then I got cars like the Skoda Rapid, I got the Superb, I got the XUV 500. So I have moved from these cars, and in one of my first videos about Jimny that I put out, that will tell you why I sold all of these cars, and I roughly owned all of these cars for about a year, and why I moved to the Jimny, because my decision about buying the Jimny was absolutely firm. I had no skepticism in my mind at all when I bought the Jimny. But in today's video, I really want to address why Jimny makes a lot of sense, as to why you should just spend maybe 14 or 15 lakh rupees, which actually is the on-road price for a Jimny, I guess, today, over SUVs which are worth 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, or even 60 lakhs for that matter. Okay, I will go as far as saying that Jimny to actually bana hi hai India ke liye. See, when it comes to the Jimny, I have to talk about the price. So let me do some SUV 4x4 price comparisons, okay? I don't want to go around and do all the SUVs, because in India mein to bhi khali SUV chal raha hai. तो sedan तो है ही नहीं. तो anyway, the point is everything is an SUV. They're calling everything an SUV, that's a problem. But when we're talking about SUVs, let's talk about the genuine 4x4 ones. So Jeep Wrangler is one option. I think that goes over 35 lakhs. And I'm not even sure what the Jeep scene is in India. Matlab, they are not focusing on marketing. They're not focusing on bringing new cars. I even heard that the new Compass is not even coming to India. So I think they lately have not been able to even crack the market. Now I want to compare the Thar, but not the Thar 3-door. Let me compare, because Jimny is a 5-door. So let's compare it to the Thar Roxx now. Thar Roxx, if you want to buy a 4x4, and it goes, I think, around 24-25 lakhs. So so comparing that with Jimny as a 15 lakh purchase with about 1.5-2 lakhs of discount, heavy discount, that when I bought तभी था. अभी मुझे पता वो है कि नहीं, but अभी I think लगभग 1 लाख रुपए का तो डिस्काउंट बनते ही होगा. So at 15 lakhs, it's a grab, it's a steal. We also give you a couple of more examples about pricing in this category. The Toyota Hilux. The Toyota Hilux is a fantastic car, लेकिन उसका भी pricing I think easily upwards of 45 lakhs. So it's in the premium SUV. और Jeep Wrangler के बारे में तो let's not even talk about it, because I think it's a CKD import or a completely imported car. So I think it goes beyond 75 lakhs. So although that hats off to that car, that's my favorite SUV 4x4 by the way, लेकिन वो अपने रीच में नहीं है, मतलब मेरे रीच में तो नहीं है, क्लियरली नहीं है. तो जिमनी का प्राइस देखो ना यार, मतलब जिमनी का प्राइस at 15 lakhs on road is I'm not able to put this in words. The value you're getting for 15 lakhs is outstanding. ये जो 4x4 का capability है, the technology that they've put together in 15 lakh rupees is outstanding. And because it's not an import, it's not CKD, it's not घुमा फिरा के लेके आए इंडिया में, it's just straightforward, made and built in India. अभी next ना अपन बात करते हैं कर ले. Now let's talk about the servicing and the maintenance and the servicing network. देखो Maruti has always been known for its service networks. I mean वो I think वो ad है कि वो joke है, पता नहीं, मतलब you go somewhere in Ladakh also, somewhere in the hills, in the mountains, you will find one Maruti service center. दूर दराज के एरिया में एक Maruti का service center मिलेगा, या तो at least some guy in a garage would definitely know how to open a Maruti and fix it. ठीक है, पहले बात तो ये कि इतना जल्दी ये काम देती नहीं है. मतलब मेरे को तो अभी ऑलमोस्ट 1 साल हो गया. I have not had any issues. I think my third servicing is due. बस servicing due जब है तब कराना, so that you don't put some unwanted pressure on your car, right? Now let's talk about the compact dimensions, okay, of the car. जब भी हम लोग छोटे थे ना, हम लोग मतलब छोटे मतलब I'm talking about when I was in my 20s or even in our teens, we used to find Thar really impressive and sexy and macho, right? But now that we've grown, now that I'm in my 40s, my idea of design is slightly my idea of design and appreciating the design and the beauty is slightly different, right? So design is not only something that looks good but also works really well. And I think the Jimny totally justifies it. So the compact design makes it a fantastic, and the boxy nature of the car makes it look very sexy, because a lot of heads will turn, kids, elderlies, people of our age, people in 20s, 30s. I keep having random conversations from people across the age bracket about the car. They're very curious about this car, and they have this shine in their eyes when they see this car, and they want to ask a lot of questions. Anyway, the boxy design and the compact design also makes it functional because it's so practical. In a city like Mumbai, when you're driving around and in tight parking spaces, this is a boon. This is a boon because then you can take this car out. You're encouraged to take this car out more often. See, I had a big Superb, right? And while I loved the car to the core, but I could not take it out. My family used to not take it out. My wife used to not take it out because it's a huge car. So, taking it out is a pain in a way. So a car of this size fits perfectly for a city like Mumbai. I also live in Udupi a lot, The beauty in Udupi is that you'll have a lot of off-road patches. Not man-made really, but lot of natural off-road spaces where I'm so confident taking this car. One more practical thing about this car is that because of the one second. Because of the high ground clearance, I don't have to worry about where I'm parking this or am I hitting the corners of the footpath or not. I just go straight and just park it because I know that it still will stand a little higher. Okay, now let's talk about the off-roading capabilities which this car is really made for. And it's a shame that a lot of people don't really put that to use. I mean, I समझ सकता हूँ because यार practical use के लिए people don't go off-roading all the time. I get all that. I feel bad about the fact that it's such a beautiful technology for 4x4 inside and people don't get to use it more often. I also don't use it so often, but I make sure that I go for these trails, and I've joined a group. Now it's got a all-grip 4-wheel drive system, and it's lightweight. It's about 1200 kgs. The ground clearance is a respectable 210 mm. All right, and I am not saying this out of the book. I had been to Kerala. If you see my other videos, there is a video about me going to Kerala for the off-roading workshop. The guy who actually led the workshop, who taught us, also owns a Jimny, by the way, the same color. Okay. And we had other Jimnys also, and then we had obviously the Thars and the Gypsies, the older Gypsies, and the Jeep Wranglers, the older ones, kind of remade. I met a lot of folks who drive for the rallies and the championships, so they had kind of redone the car completely. But anyway, my point is that when I went there, it completely blew my mind. The capability that Jimny has and the prowess that it has on the 4x4 side. I put it through trails, through water, through mud, through big khaddas, and everything. And I had an amazing time because वहाँ पे 10 लोग थे, and I was probably the least trained because that was my first workshop. A lot of people had come who went for trails already, who went for those kind of trips, and they were kind of pros. But I learned a lot. So that opened my eyes to what Jimny is really capable of on the real SUV 4x4 side. Yaar, please, if you guys have a 4x4, कोई भी रहने दो, Jimny होने दो या कोई भी रहने दो, Gurkha होने दो, Thar होने दो, 4x4 अगर तुम्हारे पास है, please ऑफ-रोडिंग लेके जाओ और धमाल करो. मतलब enjoy, make sure that you really appreciate what the car has in its DNA. Now, can you drive it as a city car? Because I also don't take it off-roading and for trails all the time, right? I mean, Jimny is the only car I have right now, and I have to do everything with it. I also do my my city drives, my outstation drives, my off-roading in it, and it's my errand vehicle also. Running the chores vehicle, everything. So, एक ही गाड़ी है मेरे पास. It's got 4 spacious seats. I know that people who are very heavily built, उनका कंधा वंधा touch होता है, वो सब होता है, but not everybody. We are talking about outliers here. मतलब in an average 6-feeter can आराम से sit inside this. There is ample leg room in the second row also. And I'm sorry, but I will compare it with the Thar 3-door. The 3-door has practically no second row seats. मतलब उसके अंदर you can't do any reasonably long drive also, and there is no boot space. This has 208 liters of boot space. It manages to fit in a lot of luggage. For a shorter 3-4 day trip, 7-day trip, you can easily go with this anywhere. And for longer trip, 1,000-kilometer drives and longer trips, no, or even 3,000, जितना भी मतलब कर लो आप. For longer trips, this is a 3 adult plus luggage car. मतलब एक सीट को फोल्ड करो, 3 बंदे आराम से बैठ जाएंगे and luggage डाल दो, भर के luggage डालो, it takes it. And I love the whole analog feel about this car. Yaar, people will complain about they don't have these, a big touch screen or anything. I don't need that because I mean it provides you a fantastic display with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's got a very good set of speakers. I tried to, by the way, I tried to change the speakers. I went to I went to a sound guy and he put some other speakers. मेरे को मज़ा नहीं आया, मैंने निकलवा दिया and then I put it back because these speakers actually sound a lot. And I mean I have a hi-fi system in my house and I obviously can't compare it with that. But car के अंदर बहुत अच्छा sound करता है. Soundproofing वगैरह, I think invest करना है तो you should invest in things like soundproofing and stuff, which makes the music sound even sweeter. Now look at this. The buttons of this car are so solid and it gives a fantastic analog feel. You know, if you click that, you know, it's not like these newer gimmicky touchscreens. And Volkswagen have these now touch based AC buttons and stuff, which I don't like. There is this the grab handle. अभी नया camera लिया. I want to make sure it doesn't fall and break and I lose my 50k again. I love the whole rugged and this analog feel of the car. I mean, it takes me back to the older cars, which had a lot more soul than more aesthetics and gimmick in the cars these days. And from a community standpoint, guys, Jimny has probably one of the biggest car communities in the world, right? Asia ke andar, South Asia ke andar, in Japan, in US, crazy amount of people who put videos and the people join together and they have their own little drives with the Jimnys and the modifications, the mods that you can do from two kinds of modifications. One is the aesthetic modification, which makes the car look really cool, gives it a very sexy feel. I am not against it, do it. मैंने तो कुछ काम कराया नहीं, मतलब अब तक खाली ये एक jerry can or whatever you want to fit. I've put a little holder for this. My kids and my niece use this as a ladder to climb on top of the car, and I have fun looking at them. So I would want to put maybe a jerry can or a sand ladder very soon. But ऊपर एक roof rail ज़रूर लगाना है मेरे को. I want to do some internal storage bit where I can hold and some camping material. I'm going to start a little bit of camping for sure very soon. Camping overlanding basically. Fantastic thing about buying these kind of cult-based and community-based cars are that you get to meet a lot of like-minded people who will get their Jimnys along, and you'll find new friends and make new friends. I mean, you'll make new friends and you'll hear new stories. You'll explore a lot of unexplored places, do a lot of things that you haven't done before. So that is a very big advantage of having a community which is very strong in a Jimny. So Jimny na is a car that clearly punches above the weight. I mean, the David and Goliath story completely suits this car, yaar, I'm telling you, because it gives you so much more value for the money that you're paying, 15 lakhs. So I wouldn't really call my Jimny a pocket rocket because it's not a very fast car, and that also I like about this car because it's now made me a very sensible, calm driver. I used to drive some really fast cars. I'm not talking about seriously fast cars. I'm talking about Superbs and Ventos and Polos, that kind of car. But I'm talking about, they had a very peppy engine. ये बहुत ठंडा है इसके लिए मज़ा आता है. It's more of a cruise vehicle, it's more of an off-roader. It's got a different, it's function over form, and it's more of a no-nonsense off-roader, if I can call it that. Okay, थोड़ा सा अभी मतलब so called downsides के बारे में बात कर लेते. Frankly, I'm nitpicking and these are not really downsides for me. No thing or human being or a car can be perfect, right? So थोड़ी खामियां रहती हैं. Let's talk about it. Because its suspension is tuned for off-roading, it's a little it has a little bit of bouncy ride, but not as bouncy as a Scorpio or those kind of cars. Not at all. I have done long drives and it is very comfortable. पीछे बैठने वाले को थोड़ा झटका लगता है आगे वाले से ज़्यादा, but very manageable. 1.5 liter engine produces only 105 bhp and it's not very powerful. Okay, you will struggle. Honestly, you will struggle if it's an automatic. You'll struggle more while overtaking. But you get used to it. Then you figure out how to overtake or not to overtake, more importantly. Okay. So the power is on the decent side, but you're not really buying this car for the power, are you? And some would call the cabin interiors plasticky. I don't really feel that. I think it suits the character of the car. It's got a lot of good plastics. I have seen cheaper plastics in cars like Tata and in Mahindra. But this is well made plastic, so I don't really feel the cheapness inside it at all. I think it's good quality plastic. तो है ना, आप लोग ये चलाओ, Jimny को test drive करो if you're looking for an SUV, a proper SUV. देखो मैं एक suggestion देता हूँ. If you want to buy an SUV which is not a 4x4, actually consider this. Also have the bragging rights that this is a real fucking SUV and not a fake SUV. See, other cars might have been branded as an SUV, but they are not really SUVs. They are not really sports utility vehicles. 4x4s are, so you have bragging rights. So, is this the only SUV you will ever need? Yes, if it's an SUV that you want to keep in your life and want to buy, if you have this much of money, even if you have 20-25 lakhs of money, I would tell you only consider this. But if you have like 50 lakhs, 45 lakhs just to splurge, and go get the Jeep Wrangler or go get the Toyota Hiluxes of the world, because they probably, they probably even built better. But for the money that you will pay, 15 lakhs, this is a crazy value. This is a bargain, it's a steal. Just go and grab it. Alright, have fun. See you in the next video.